Another list, this time on the NFL side. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler put out his top 5 NFC QB list with Matthew Stafford at the top. I think Jared Goff was number 2, if I'm not mistaken. You had Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, and then at number 5, Jordan Love. One name that's not on this list is Jaylen Herz. I want to ask you, though, you are our quarterback. We got 2 quarterback gurus on here. I want to start with you, Shaun. Do you have an issue with this top 5 NFC quarterback list? And if so, what is your issue?
Can I, and you give me the list one more time?
Yes, sir. So number 1, we got Matthew Stafford. Okay. Number 2, we have Jared Goff.
Okay.
Number 3 is Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Number 4 is Brock Purdy. And number 5 is Jordan Love.
So I would have Kirk Cousins over Brock Purdy.
I like that. You know what? I didn't think about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's probably the only adjustment I make. And then whoever you want to put, I could go with Purdy over Love just because Purdy's done it for 2 years and Love's only done it for 1. I wouldn't push back on you.
But you have no issue with Jaylen Hurts not being on there, correct?
None.
Got you, man. JB, let me ask you the same question, man. Do you take issue with this list? What would you move around? Would you put Danny Dimes on there number 1? How would you do it? Sam Darnold number 2?
JB gonna put them hands on you. You keep fucking with JB.
Hey, I said it real smooth too, like it was for real, like it was serious.
Stafford is a no-brainer. I think he's top 5 in NFL, period. Goff got to win one, but I do like that. I guess as a transcending guy, I guess Goff would be bumped above Dak, I guess, Shaun. I don't know if you'd agree to that. Jordan Love.
Goff took a team to a Super Bowl. Dak hasn't. Yeah,
and Jordan Love is ascending as well, right? I think he's a guy that's climbing the ladder quickly with a great supporting cast. Purdy scares me, man. Like I said, I think he's a bus rider. I'm with Cam Newton. I just don't think he's the bus driver. I just don't see it. I think if they had better quarterback play in the Super Bowl last year, they win the Super Bowl. It's really that clear to me. Like I don't understand. I don't see.
And it's like part of me wants to agree with you, but he played so well though in the Super Bowl too. Like he outplayed Mahomes in my opinion.
Man, so, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I put Cousins at 4.
There's too many critical elements of the game that Shaun and I were talking about with Dak Prescott 2 years ago. They could have beat the Niners. They could have beat the Niners, dog. Like Cooper Rush wins that game because he don't throw a flat route pick 6 against when 2 squatted corner and the outside backer both are in the zone and he throws the ball straight to him. There's no way an average QB does that. They eat it or throw it away. But not in that critical junction when the Dallas Cowboys locked the Niners down that year in that game. The Niners should have been the Cowboys should have been in the Super Bowl that year. And that's because the same thing with Purdy last year. If you watch some of those games, the things that he did in Shaun, I don't know, you can explain it better than me.
No, I get what you're saying. Like you're saying there's particular moments when it's like this is your time to shine.
That's why I'm asking Shaun. Like he can explain it probably better than me detail-wise. When we talk about Super Bowl winning quarterbacks, if you look through the history, you see game-defining moments from the position that either win you the game or lose you the game. And there's very rare times like you throw, guys that are really mid. Mahomes has had 2 real mid Super Bowls and they won. He finally threw for 300 last year and they won it also. But if you look at the history of quarterback play, there's only been a few mid. Elway had, I think, under a 200-yard game. I think Aikman had one. If you look in the history of things,
Steve Young, Manning, his last one, I think.
Yeah, so there's been a few that have had mid Super Bowls and have won it. But for the most part, you got to have some sort of stellar performance from that position to get over the hump. And so – I don't know. That's
as far as the list, I think I would just have Cousins at 4. And then to me, like Brock Purdy, Jordan Love, Kyler Murray, Jaylen Herz, they're all in that next group of guys that have been in the league a couple years that have shown some brilliance. Probably got to do it a couple more years to really, get up there with the Stafford and Goff's, just because, tenure matters.
I said 200 yards. I am the jerk. I said 200, not 300. You fucking stick. And Trell, Jaylen Herz is not good, fanboy. I get you're an Eagle fan, homie. Jaylen Herz is not good, Mr. Running Back Guru. Let the quarterback
He makes a good point right here, though. He makes a good point, though. Shout out to Trell, your former player.
He don't make a good point.
If we talk about QBs are supposed to win, Hertz should be on the list. If you want to talk about talent, Purdy or Hertz should not be on the list. Like, what do y'all? I do think it's a bigger conversation because we always talk about winning. And I get it. Winning is a quarterback stat. I get that. But to what extent? You know what I'm saying? Like, Purdy has lost a handful of games in his career, his young career. But at the end of the day, what does your eyes tell you, though? Your eyes tell you, like, all right, he's limited. You know what I'm saying? But, like, does it matter?
Well, I'm not going to attack the chat like JB does. I let JB, be the sergeant in arms on the show.
Yeah, that's him.
In the words of JB, are you not listening to what I am saying? I said my top 4 were Stafford, Goff, Prescott, Cousins. I said the next group for me is Purdy, Jordan Love, Jaylen Herz, Kyler Murray. You can put them in whatever order you want to put them in. But the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFC going into the 2024 season are Stafford, Goff, Prescott, Cousins.
Listen, according Latrell thinks Shedeur Sanders should start right now for the Cowboys. He thinks Deion should be the head coach for the Eagles, and he thinks Jaylen Herz should be the Super Bowl MVP. Listen, we get it. Those are your fucking fan favorites. Here's the truth of the matter. Jaylen Herz had 2 years ago, he broke out because there was no book on him because they had limited resources on him as far as breaking down film. Defensive coordinator's got a book on him, and last year he hit what I call a sophomore slump, even though it was his 3rd year, 4th year. Here's the thing. The reason is look at the Super Bowl year that he had 300 yards in, and he used his feet, and he had these big plays over the top against the Chiefs. They lost. Last year, he struggled mildly, to say the least. This is his make-or-break season. That's why. That's why I have Jaylen Herz where I have him. To me, I have 2 eyes, Latrell. I have eyes of a quarterback lens, and I know what's legit and what's not. You can have a loaded roster around you and go to a Super Bowl. Why don't you ask fucking Trent Dilfer? Stop talking to me about this shit, homie. This is what I do. The Eagles were the best team in the NFC 2 years ago. They went to a Super Bowl. The 49ers were the best team last year, roster around Brock Purdy. They went to a Super Bowl. Who failed them both in those Super Bowls? The quarterback. That is why. So, anyway, let's move on.
I would probably put Dak at my number 2. Other than that, I'm cool with the list. I like Jared Goff a lot, though. But I can't remove the regular season. As important as the playoffs obviously is, the regular season for me still matters. And Dak is, to me, one of the better regular season quarterbacks every single year. They won, I think, 12 games the last 3 years. So I think that matters. He's an all-pro last year. I think that matters. So I would put him number 2. But other than that, I don't have a big problem with the list.
You moved a guy ahead of a guy that went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah. I think Dak, again, I think you put Dak on that Rams team, I think they're still in the Super Bowl as well. This is my opinion. We'll never know, but very talented team as well.
Dak Prescott does not make
with Sean McVay as well, by the way.
He doesn't make Nakua who he was. Sorry.
Jared Goff didn't. Huh? No. I'm talking about Jared. No. Stafford number 1. I said I would put Dak number 2.
But you said if he was with the Rams, he would still be in the Super Bowl.
The Rams that Jared Goff had, because you said Jared Goff took the Super Bowl. So I'm saying the Rams that he had, he didn't have Nakua. That was
let's make it crystal clear to some of the people in the chat too. Kirk Cousins has thrown for more yards and more touchdowns than everybody in the NFC not named Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
He's thrown for almost 40,000, it's like 39,000 and something yards and 200 and I think 70-ish touchdowns.
Hey, Kirk Cousins, bad boy.
I think Dak is thrown for 185 and Goff is thrown for 202 or something like that. Like, whoever asks me, they don't believe about Kirk. Listen, Kirk is much better than his narrative says.